So the XFL is attempting a comeback. I saw mixed reactions on Twitter and I'm intrigued. Now the original XFL came out the gates, only to crash and burn shortly thereafter. And many people are writing these cats off saying that this is gonna be a repeat performance. And who knows, maybe they're right. But if you know me, you know I'm taking the optimistic approach. So today I'm gonna give you my initial thoughts on why the XFL just might work this time. The NFL, since the beginning, has pretty much monopolized pro football. The league was founded in 1920, which means unless something crazy happens, in 2 years, the NFL will have dominated pro football for 100 years, bro. That's insane. And sure, there's been other leagues, the UFL, USFL, APFL, right? Like, none of those guys were even in the same weight class. Now, the AFL was competitive with the NFL back in the 60s, but those two leagues merged, made a powerhouse, and been winning ever since. But one league, in my opinion, did something that none of the other leagues did. They actually managed to distinguish themselves from the NFL in a meaningful and memorable way. And I gotta say, the branding and initial promotion was so good that 17 years later, an announcement of bringing it back has quite a few people excited. Now, back in 2001, during the XFL's lone season, it was a wild league. They had strippers chilling in the end zone, players who basically had Xbox Live gamer tags on their jerseys, and if your team name wasn't violent, it was a no-go. The league was crazy, bro, but it was innovative. They replaced the coin toss with a mad scramble for the ball. It was the most violent and exhilarating last round of musical chairs you've ever seen. Whoever came up with the ball got to choose whether to take possession or defer. And I don't care what nobody say. That is an exciting way to start a game. Unfortunately, multiple players actually got hurt doing this, so maybe it wasn't such a great idea. As a matter of fact, one cat actually separated his shoulder in the first game of the season, missing the rest of the year. The league only lasted 1 year, so yeah, he never had a chance to play a down in the league. Hindsight is 2020, but if given another chance, I'm sure he would have opted for a coin toss. But not all of their rules were bad. Extra points were different. You basically had to go for what would be considered a 2-point conversion in the NFL, but it only counted for 1. So no kicking for the PAT, you had to go for it. Some of you guys may remember the NFL was actually strongly considering adopting that rule just a few years ago. A few things the NFL did straight up swipe from the XFL. That crazy league put cameras up above the players' heads, once again trying to innovate and get some amazing angles that we were never able to get before, aka Skycam. And before the XFL came along, mic'd up wasn't a thing. Right there you can see that was more to this league than its detractors would readily admit. I mean, when a league who's been on top for 100 years is incorporating your ideas, you had to do something right. So what happened? For one, the league was way too over the top. Vince McMahon, obviously looking to incorporate a lot of things from pro wrestling, really turned quite a few people off. But the biggest problem was the fact that the league was only half-baked. They rushed the process with the league. They announced it prematurely and then literally slapped everything together in 1 year. It's kind of like a lot of video games that come out today. The marketing is unbelievable, but the product is hollow and unfinished. So the initial ratings are through the roof, but it doesn't take long before everybody recognizes that they've been duped. They got a shiny, hyped up product that was basically a beta test. But unlike some of these video games that managed to stay around and then bounce back after a year or two due to a multitude of patches and additions, the XFL wasn't afforded this opportunity. It was already the underdog in a market dominated by the NFL. And once the ratings plummeted because the product on the field was so poor, the XFL's then partner, NBC, pulled out after only the first year. At that point, the league was done. But now, the XFL is back, and many people automatically assume that the league will fail, just like it did before. But if you think about it, this may be the best time in the last 100 years to challenge an NFL that definitely has some issues. Some of the rules are murky, overly complicated, and inconsistent. Like, you know what used to be a dumb question? Somebody would ask you, what's a catch? That's a straightforward answer, right? Not today. That's like a 3-hour conversation. More and more people are starting to believe that the league is rigged and the ratings are dropping. People are upset about certain politics, and the XFL is coming in and promising that they will literally build their league by taking every weakness of the NFL and making it their strength. They promise simple rules, quicker, faster paced games. They got the political stuff covered. They're gearing up and they're refining the XFL based on what they learned the last time around. They're promising a more family-friendly league and giving themselves 2 years to get off the ground this time. Not to mention, I'm sure they've been working behind the scenes before the announcement even happened. Currently, the relaunch date for the XFL is 2020. They're targeting some big-name people, although there's one rule that they're boasting that I'm almost positive they're gonna have to get rid of. I think they'll realize that, get rid of that rule, and give the people what they want to see. Will this be enough to supplant the NFL, or at least coexist? Let me know what you think. Alright man, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to like the video, share the video, and subscribe if you're brand new. Once again, I appreciate all the support on the channel. I'ma holler at y'all next time. My name is FlemLo Raps.